Amiga's releases at Baselworld 2017 were wildly different in some ways, and yet in others the same. What do I mean by that? Everything from the vintage models right through to the new contemporary have the latest technology inside. So while their looks were different, the hearts inside of them were beating in very much the same way. Let's start with the 1957 TRILOGY Limited Editions. Now, if you think these watches look somewhat similar to the original versions from 1957, you'd be completely wrong. They're exactly the same, and Amiga ensured this by using tomography MRI scanners to scan the original watches and get the exact dimensions. These really are a replica of the original with modern technology inside. Let's go through them one by one. First, the Seamaster. This is the largest of the three at 39mm. It has an 8806 movement and a sapphire crystal face. So again, you're getting that modern, scratchless face as opposed to the Hesselite. The Railmaster is 38mm. It also has a sapphire crystal face and an 8806 movement. However, the Speedmaster is 38.6mm, has an 1861 movement, and a Hesselite face, which is more true to the original. Now, this 1957 Speedmaster was the first to ever have a tachymeter outside the bezel. Each of these watches are limited to 3,557 pieces on their own. However, in the box sets, which contains all three, there are only 557 in total. So they will sell out. Now, the box set cast quite a shadow, but there are more stories to tell, including the Speedmaster Racing, which has a new chronograph movement, the 9900. Now, this begins to make sense when you think of Amiga's move to anti-magnetism. Now, the 9900 is an updated 9300 movement, as 15 components have been made anti-magnetic and non-ferrous. Moving on to the Big Blue Planet Ocean. Now, this is a watch that the president of Amiga, Reinhard Eichlermann, described as one of the most interesting, and that is for all of its technological advances and the use of blue ceramic. However, the name is rooted in the past. Big Blue is a nickname for a 1972 diving model that was the first chronograph with pushers you could use underwater. And one interesting fact about ceramic is that it takes 20 times longer to produce a ceramic case body than steel. And now we have the Railmaster, Felix's pick from the entire Amiga range. This is a standard production piece that has a black PVD treatment of a steel dial, which has been vertically brushed. You can see that in some lights more than others. And the steel dial is natural. It's a totally new twist. It's not a reference to the past. The hands are a link with the second generation from the early 60s. Now, the herringbone strap, you might think that's a nod to the past. It's not at all. It's hipster influence, not heritage, as described by Amiga. On a pricing note, the Railmaster is also Amiga's lowest price chronometer, and it is a lower price than the Aqua Terra because of the Aqua Terra's applied hour markers being in gold. Perfect segue to the Aqua Terra itself. What are the differences, you ask? Let's go through them. Firstly, the date window has moved. It was at 3, now it's at 6. Now, that not only looks cleaner, but it's also a reference to the original Seamaster automatic calendar from 1952. Secondly, there's less text, and if you look very closely, Amiga has taken off the depth rating, which makes the dial seem even cleaner. And lastly, the stripes are now horizontal and not vertical. This is the teak dial concept, which is meant to evoke the decking of luxury yachts. Overall, it was a year that celebrated the past, looked very firmly to the future, and improved and updated movements in practically everything they delivered.